Hello, good evening, and welcome to the Fun Club, where we're here to discuss the wonderful performance that Arsenal gave against the scum at the new Toilet Bowl Stadium. And I'm joined by my fellow Cheerios, Olaf Brinkman, a guest to the show, first time. Hi, Olaf, how are you doing?
I'm doing okay generally, but not after that 90 minutes. So, but it's good to be here, and I'm very honoured. Thanks.
Well, it's great to have you. And we've got Vermin will win fuck all with us. He's a regular. You might know him as Gav. He's the clock end Highbury picture that's going to vibrate every time he talks. Gav, how are you doing?
Yeah.
Did you stay awake for that one, mate?
Succinct.
I'll tell you what. Like I say, before we really go into it, if I was a supporter, don't. Do you know what I mean? It was just anti football. Do you know what I mean? Oh, don't. All them years of them saying how they played a beautiful game and they turned up today and got absolutely. I don't think they touched the ball. Harry Kane in the second half had more touches in his box than he did in our bloody half. He might as well have been playing as a defensive midfielder. So, so to all those Tottenham supporters moping and larking on for years about how they played a beautiful game, that was just awful. They're an absolute awful side to watch. It's like almost, I'd rather watch Stoke in their heyday than Tottenham. I really would. I'd rather watch long balls by Stoke. At least they gave you a little bit. That was just an absolute. And like I say, we're a bunch of fucking mugs for falling for it. We fell for it twice in the first half. Anyway, go on. I'll let you get on with it. Go on. Let's talk.
No. This is good. Just follow that to its natural course. Basically, what you're saying is that they were shit. Their football was shit, and they did a smash and grab Mourinho style runaway, and with two. Well, let's call them what they were. They were great goals. We didn't have much. I mean, Leonard didn't have much chance in them, but still, it's like, it's kind of not fun to watch. Olaf.
Yeah, look, I mean, I must say it was a great goal from Son, the first one, but Leno was so far off his line in the build-up to that Son had no choice but to go there, and then he was out of position really. So if he'd stuck a bit more to his line, he would have had an opportunity to potentially have saved that first goal, in my view. When I watched the replay now at half-time, he was literally on the edge of the outer box, and that was just insane positioning. But it wasn't a great game. Almost 80% possession for us, which is ridiculous. And then to walk away with a 2-0 defeat is just, it's hard to comprehend.
It is a bit depressing.
I think it was 62% the first half, and then it averaged out at 69%. Yeah. So my maths is we must have had 75% of the ball throughout the whole game. The
thing that struck me though is like, I mean, I think in 2 or 3 more halves we might have figured out how to actually, take advantage of a scoring position, because I don't know what is going on, because we seem to get there. We put in 155 crosses or something ridiculous, and but there was just people not on the end of them, or when they were on the end of them, they kind of were like, oh hell, there's a ball. What do I do with that? It just seemed like it was the strangest thing. It felt like the players didn't know what to do. They'd forgotten their role.
I mean, the observation I want to make is the sudden obsession of ours in the last, I don't know, how many games now, 3, 4, where all we're doing is crossing the ball from out left or right. We do realize we don't have Olivier Giroud not with us anymore. And we don't have somebody like an Olivier, as an example, who could take a cross and head it, flick it, do something with it, because he's, and as we've seen in the last few games of his, the 4 goals the other night, and again, what was it, yesterday?
We need a Drogba. We need that's. I mean, a Drogba or an Alan Smith, someone like that. That's what we need if we're going to keep putting them in. But the problem is the way that Tottenham set up was the only way you could get at them was to go round the outside, and I think we was okay. The problem is we didn't have we needed that little bit of luck today. We needed that one to drop. We needed something to, a deflected header to go in. We needed a Bangian who probably had the best header of the game, which went about a metre over the bar. It was small margins. We just wasn't getting the second ball luck in their box, and we certainly had the ball in their box a hell of a lot. It was, well, I'm not, I just point blankly refuse to give Tottenham any fucking credit whatsoever. It's as simple as that. I don't care how bad we were about not breaking them down. I'm just not giving them any credit whatsoever for that win. It was boring, shit football that they played. I mean, I think they finished the game with like 6 defenders and Harry Kane as a defensive midfielder. Fuck that. I don't want to watch football like that. I want to watch winning football, but that, I wouldn't. If we played like that, I wouldn't be happy all the time. And they're playing that against a team which is 14th in the fucking league. Do you know what I mean? It's not like they're playing like... I mean, all right, we've done it against Man City and Liverpool, who are 2 of the best and most expensive teams ever assembled. We wouldn't play that against fucking Barnsley. Do you know what I mean? And that's what they did, basically. They played that against us. Ridiculous. Just a boring, shit-ass, muggy team. And if they play like that... In fact, I honestly think and hope they play like that for the rest of the season, because they won't win fuck all playing like that. And that's what they deserve. Fuck all.
All right. Well, I think there's a lot of people commenting and writing in, Gav. So let's give them a little bit of a... I'm going to just put some of these comments up.
Read them out.
I'm going to read them out because we are interactive. People have actually bothered to tune in and watch a bunch of old geezers talk shit about losing to the scum at the toilet bowl. So Brian Farhall says, do you think we'll stay up? That's a good question. Jason Argo says, we were better than this under Rioch and Emery. Michael Granger says, they done well, a shower of crap, only getting beaten 2-0. Stewie Higginson, park the bus as usual. Darren John says, I'm surprised that people are surprised we played this way for so long. Paul Tansley, we found a use for the open top bus at last. Sean Egan, Oba should be stripped of the captaincy and dropped. That may be an overreaction. Paul Shepherd, how long do we have to put up with Xhaka in this team? Because this will continue if he plays. Mick Oram says they had 9 dangerous attacks and scored 2. We had 94. Yeah. Colin Brown, let's not get too down, Gunners. We played well. We've won the FA Cup and Charity Shield. The scum have won nothing. And I'm sure we will finish below the scum, but they'll win fuck all. I believe we will. Oh, there you go. That's true. I don't even know when they last won anything. Mark Hayward, get a revolving door on the manager's door. Nothing will change with the yank in charge. Wake the fuck up. Oh, there you go. There's a shout out to Stan. It's true. Thanks, Mark. Julie May Mills, awful performance again in the league. We won't be in the Premier League much longer carrying on like this. Well, I hope that's an overreaction.
We would have beat, like I say, we would have beaten most teams the way we played today. If we play like that for the rest of the season, we'll get in the top 6. It's as simple as that. The problem is we came against a team which was just deliberately set out to do it, and everybody knew they was going to do it. Merson got absolutely slammed for his comments on Sky Sports News on Saturday.
Ozil.
But before he started moaning about Ozil, which he's wrong about, by the way, right? He was basically saying, he predicted exactly what was going to happen, and he was spot on. He predicted that Tottenham were going to shut up shop and try and hit us on the break. They'll probably get 1 or 2 goals against us on the break, and that was it. And
they watched Leicester, didn't they? They just watched Leicester do the same to us at the Emirates,
It was right. And like I say, it's small margins. I mean, what I actually kind of liked really was in the second half, we were stopping the breaks at source, which is what we weren't doing in the first half for them, or their 2 attacks of the whole game. That's what it feels like. So I mean that's what got to me about it really. But I don't know. Like I say, obviously we're not a great side, but
you guys don't think
we haven't lost to a great side. We've lost to a side look, if they wanted to play football and take us on man for man, we probably would have beaten them today. But we were just completely naive. Is that Arteta being naive? And as for that second goal, I mean, if either you two want to talk me through what the fuck Partey was doing, please go ahead. Do you know what I mean? The fact that he just decided to walk off the
Slow
pitch.
down.
I mean, hasn't somebody grabbed him by the throat? We should have sent. I mean, somebody should have sent Tony Adams round there to grab them all by the throat. Do you know what I mean? With his mask, obviously, in full, PPV gear or whatever you want to bloody call it. Do you know what I mean? But why do you walk off the pitch? Why did he just walk off the pitch? Sit down, pretend you're injured, hold your head, do whatever you can, but don't just walk off the fucking pitch.
Yeah,
ridiculous.
I think Arteta pushed him back on again, and then he fell down, and then was substituted.
Yeah. Listen, I'm going to interrupt quickly to invite Zade. Zade, are you there? You look like some kind of cheesy white vinyl record with the hole in the center. Can you hear me? Your mic is off. Zade. Yeah, your mic's on. Talk.
Yeah. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
We can hear you. We can hear you.
Yeah.
Welcome to this. Welcome to the fun room. Help yourself to a Cheerio and a happy pill. There you go. There's Zade. So we were basically just saying.
Well, that was shit.
Yeah. But like Gavin was saying,
thanks for the shot.
Yeah, I'm glad you could come on and join us for your virgin appearance in the pub. But as Gavin was saying, basically it was a shit show just from the point of view that only one team arrived to play football. The other one kind of was, just spoiling everything.
Yeah.
But Olaf, sorry, you had something you were trying to say earlier. What was that?
I was just going to make the point is the fact that defensively we're not actually too bad. I think Gabriel again was fantastic, but and then you had Xhaka in front. It's like a defensive midfield role, but it's the linkage between the back. There's nothing in the middle that is linking to the front four with Willian isn't doing it at all. In fact, I don't think he's had one good game for us. So that's a problem. And I think that's almost how Arteta sees him, as some kind of creative role that can link midfield and then go to the Obers and the Lakas. But there is no linkage at the moment. And I think that's why there's so many backward and sideways passes going, because there is nothing linking what's going on up front. And by the way, Aubameyang, since he signed the contract, remember, it's a bit like that Ozil time when he got that big major deal. He hasn't been playing well. That's just a side comment.
That's Gav, you asked us to. That's all true, and I'm going to follow up on that. Olaf, is Gav, you asked us to explain the second goal, and for me, it was basically I don't know who it was. Maybe I think it was Bellerin or whatever. Put in made a run for the box and he made a break. Bellerin tried to do that quite a lot today.
I don't know why didn't Bellerin shoot?
Hang on a second, but he chipped one over to Aubameyang. He chipped one over to Aubameyang, who basically was ball watching, flat-footed, did fuck all for it, and then made the clearance and ended up scoring. But I was like, I felt that a lot tonight. Like the forwards were on fucking Valium. The ball comes hurtling across in front of you. You just don't put a foot out or a head or whatever. It just felt like it just really, really felt like there was like a kind of a blanket of stupidity over our choices. We just got into like a flappy mode. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know. It didn't seem very collected. I don't know. So, was that should we be doing better against teams that are going to catch us on the break against that? How much is this down to Arteta? I mean,
it's schoolboy stuff. What we did tonight and them two goals were schoolboy stuff. I mean, I've just seen the second goal again. I've got the telly still on for my things, and like I say, even when he got pushed on, it's obviously his legs gone. Do you know what I mean? He couldn't run, but that was, if he was fit, that was his man who he was supposed to mark, who scored. That's the position he would have been on the pitch. So maybe it is a bit unfair to slag him off completely for walking off on the pitch, but don't. It's I mean, we should like I say, it is. That was like us 20 years ago going,
Yeah.
at home, absolutely smashing Middlesbrough and losing 2-0. That's what it feels like to me. I'm not sitting here thinking we've just lost 2-0 to a great team that's going to win the league. I don't think that.
Yeah, but does it make you feel any better knowing we've lost to like fucking?
No, I can't stand the fucking cunts. No, I mean it's simple as that. I'm not messing about.
Gav, don't hold back. How do you really feel?
Yeah, no, well, that's it. I can't stand the fuckers. They're shit. The fucking club's shit. The fans shit. Their managers shit, and most of their players are shit.
Paul, you didn't debrief me on the language.
It's a pub. I told you it was a pub. Zade told me that he was drunk and he was going to get violent because he'd been drinking rum. So I thought, who better to have in the pub than
a drunk, violent bluffka from Durban.
Look at me! I've got my second bowl of gin. Yeah, I had to get rid of the fish so I could drink.
I am so sick of Jose Mourinho. I have to tell you, I cannot stand the man.
Yeah,
one of the few people that I say that about, but I cannot stand the man. And I haven't even watched the interview, but I can bet you he's going to be blowing smoke up his players' arse.
He was double fisting the crowd at the end there. I mean, he was happy.
Did you see that Jesus thing he did when Son scored? Yeah, look at me. Look, I wonder what a.
And then his assistant thought that was an invitation to like a long hug and maybe a little bit of a nibble. And no. Anyway, so Gav, up until Partey took himself off the pitch, I thought he played well. I thought he was our best player up until then.
Arteta's talking now for those interested.
For what is he saying? Who's what?
They are really good at that.
Sweet.
And Son scored from 20 yards, 25 yards in the top bin. On the second one, Thomas is out.
Yeah, I don't think we're allowed to do that. Sorry, we'll get zapped if we do that. So I'm going to go through a couple more comments here. So Conan Peters says we should have done better. Barry Urch Glowworm. Sorry, Barry. Says there are no leaders. David Williams says there's no creativity. Aaron Smith says, boring, muggy team, yes, but they beat us knowing how to win against us. They won't win fuck all, but they won against us. And this afternoon, that's what counts. We've got 4 out of 5 players that offer nothing. 4 out of 5. That's
4 or 5.
That's a conservative. 4 out of 5 defenders. Instead of trusting the flawed process, hit the reset button, start all over again. Arteta and Conquer out. Doomed to the championship. The whole club is a complete joke. Well, as long as we don't overact, I think everything will be fine. Gav, we won't make the top 6 if we cannot score any goals. Oba doesn't look interested after signing that new contract. Faisal says Arsenal is finished, so we should just switch off the lights and go home. Drop Shaka. Abu out of form. Yeah,
but let's be honest, right? If we play like that for the rest of the season, we're going to do okay, right? And for all those fucking wet nurses and fucking people who are still in love with Wenger, who think that he still would have been getting us in the top 4 or winning us trophies. I mean, grow up. Do you know what I mean? This is because of what happened in these last few years. The problem is if we get rid of Arteta now, right, then we're just going on again. And the problems are the fact that we had to suffer for years and years through boardroom struggles between an American and a Uzbekistanian, to which one wanted to put money in, one didn't want to put any money in, and it was just a long drawn out affair where we completely stagnated, and we're suffering for that. You can't blame Emery for what happened today. You can't really blame Arteta for what happened today. It's just been a long process which has been going on since we left Highbury, of just a complete shambles by the board. Yeah, I mean, we know what we need. We know that we're playing Lacazette as our most in the most creative position in the pitch, and that's how bad we've got, and that's how desperate we were in the summer for a creative midfielder. The fact that now Lacazette is the best option in that position. So, like I say, you can blame anyone can blame whoever they like. The problem is, it's been lack of investment for 10 years. And we ain't like Tottenham. We didn't fucking cry to the Bank of England for 170 odd million quid so we could stay afloat, so that they could furlough their staff off. Whilst their fucking billionaire owner is sitting on his yacht in the Bahamas, getting blown by fucking ladyboys. Do you know what I mean? It's bollocks. Do you know what I mean? We're not like them shit arses.
Disclaimer: that may not be that may not necessarily be substantiated, but it's,
that might not be true.
Not true.
Most of that is true.
I'm sure Gavin's got photos.
Look, if I was
photos,
I probably would be anyway. But
More than
Gav,
likely.
no, you're right. So my opinion on this thing is that we've got Arteta. We knew we were taking a chance on somebody who didn't have the experience. I do think that the guy has vision. I do think that he has the ability to adapt. You've got to remember that he's new at the job. We hired him. Like, you can't fucking hire somebody because they're new at the job and say, I'm going to take a chance on you, and then not give them time to actually, to improve. I think he's improved.
We need better players.
That's what I'm saying. It's like we can't chuck him out and then start again with some other idiot who's going to want a new team and is going to want to play like Mourinho, or he's going to want to play like Klopp, and then like all the players are stuck in systems that they can't work with. Arteta has to figure out a way to get creative and to get our front fucking strike force scoring again, because we're just limp and ineffective right now.
Paul,
so I don't think chucking Arteta out is the answer.
I've been thinking the last while, maybe the relationship between Pep Guardiola and Mikel at Man City. I think Mikel most probably took more of the defensive responsibility, and Pep did a lot of the attacking stuff. Because if we look how we are almost predisposed to being very defensively minded the last 3-4 months in particular, as an example. It's the attacking flair, and then again going back to what I said earlier about the connection between the back four or back six, however many we have at that point, and the strikers.
I mean, we have that midfield, that creative issue. We've talked about it, all season, and we know it's there. And Özil is just a symptom of it. People reaching for the Özil pie as the answer. I don't see that. But but what I'm saying is that I think I'm not sure I agree that Arteta was responsible for defense with Pep, because when you hear about Sterling and players like that, Sane, have said that they worked with Arteta on their attacking play and all that kind of stuff. I don't know if that's entirely fair. What I do know is that Arteta has stopped a lot of the clown fucking, that those brain fart, mistakes that we were making game after game after game after game. So our defense has improved. The problem is, at the same time, our midfield has become completely ineffective, and our attacking force has somehow become limp.
And we don't scare anybody anymore. We don't scare anybody
we're very
anymore.
predictable. I mean, I find Tierney predictable.
Well, we scared them. They didn't even bother attacking.
But did we, Gav?
We had enough on the pitch today for Mourinho to literally park the bus for 90 minutes and accept 30% possession at home. That's how much we scared Mourinho.
But that's a tactic, Gav. I mean, he's used that many times. We should have known. Mourinho's going to.
Is he going to use it against Barnsley?
No, but
that's the point. We had enough on the pitch. Like I say, we come across a team which I think finished the game with about 7 defenders on the pitch. Do you know what I mean? That's how. I'm not having it. We haven't got enough to scare teams.
They're top of the league, so he knew what he wanted to do. He's a twat. I mean, on the level of twattishness from 1 to 10, he's like a 50. We know that. But we've got to find a way to actually, because it's not just Mourinho. There are teams that are getting results against us doing the same thing over and over and over again. So it's frustrating that like you and me and Olaf can see the problem, but how do we unlock that key?
Wasn't this almost like the Leicester game?
It was.
Yeah,
I mean,
the Leicester game's a point in case as well. It's like I said, we just got to get faster ball, and the problem, it's a bit of a shoehorning. Do you know what I mean? It's where we're sacrificing Aubameyang down the middle because we've got nobody else down the middle, so that Saka, who I thought was our best player in the first half, can run up and down and do what he likes. Do you know what I mean? I mean, it was only. Oh, don't go on, carry on talking. I've had enough.
No, you're right, Gav. But the thing, there's little things that, like, I noticed. For instance, Saka and Tierney basically could have held hands through most of that first half. It's like they were put in this position when Tierney was attacking up left, but Saka hung onto the same channel, and you ended up with the two of them both fucking severely left-footed, unable to like cut in and make a pass really with the right, pretending to do that, and just being kind of shepherded out,
and that's what Spurs were doing because Tierney and Bellerin were bombing down the sides and doing this like cross again. We go back to what I said earlier about thinking we had Giroud in the middle. We were then exposed on the counter attack every single time because, as you were saying, with Saka being so close to Tierney, there was absolutely no defense on that left hand side then, as an example. And the same applied then for the right when Bellerin had charged down the side.
Yeah, they should have. He should, like I say, if what we should have done for the first goal is the minute the ball went to Kane, he should have just gone through the back of him, just straight away. Just take. He should have, like I say, this is what teams like Man City would do, right, and what Tottenham would do themselves as well. Right, he's in that position. The best thing to do is just take him out. Just go through the back of him, take him out, take your yellow card, get back, regroup, and that's where we was a little bit naive on the first goal. But that's what would have stopped that, and that was what almost gave me a bit of joy in the second half. Was when Tottenham were attempting to get out of their own half, right? We was blocking it and we were straight in their face, and that was something that we've learnt from the first half. And you've got to remember, this is Arteta, who hasn't even been a manager for a year, and has already won trophies, against Mourinho, who's won like 20 odd trophies. He's won all the big trophies. So yeah, it was Arteta being basically outdone, and Mourinho doing whatever possible he could.
Let's put it this way. Mourinho played the game that you would expect a team to play when they're away to Arsenal. Park the bus, try and snatch a win, like Leicester did. When you play like that at home, that's why I'm saying it's the anti-football, Gav. I'm with you. I just don't want to talk about fucking Mourinho and Spurs anymore.
No.
You know what I mean? Like, otherwise I'd rather just hang up. But, if there are things that we can look at, patterns that are happening in our play and things that we tend to be doing, the same thing over and over again, which is the definition of craziness. Maybe you and I, maybe we can see them as fans. I don't know why, why it seems that the people that are in charge and doing the selection and seeing those things are still trying to fit the same fucking squares in the same round holes. You know what I mean? Over and over and over.
When I saw the team sheets...
Okay, Paul, all right. I'll hit this I'll hit this back at you two then. Who particularly had a bad game for us today? Who do you think was particularly like shit more than normal? Because
that's not fair. You can't say more shit than normal, because unfortunately normal sometimes is pretty shit. We've grown.
No, of course. But like I say, I mean, I can't. Obviously, I was. I'm not too happy with what happened with Partey. But obviously, when you look at it back, he was. He tried to run again. He couldn't run. So not running is probably might mean he comes back a little bit quicker. But like I say, I can't sit here hand on heart and say he was terrible today. Apart from Willie, even Willian looked vaguely more interested than he usually does. But I mean, could either you two going to sit there and say he was terrible for us today? Because I can't.
No, I think Bellerin didn't have a great game, to be honest.
At moments, though, I mean, let's face it, he at least was an attacking threat. He initiated a lot of stuff, which is good. But Willian did that, like everybody was okay, Gav. But for me, the most disappointing thing today was those 2 or 3 occasions when Aubameyang and Lacazette either kind of just in those scoring opportunities just either seemed not engaged or just not at that level. They just seemed like they were in a kind of a COVID haze a little bit. You know what I mean? It's like, that was meant to be for me. You know, that there was one cross that Lacazette, if he just carried on running and not thought about anything,
if he'd carried on at the same pace he was carrying,
he would have scored.
You're
Willian too. I mean, there was one that came through. Like you're getting paid a lot of money to score goals. You know, as a player, you know, being hired by a club. And like if the ball comes through, you know, unexpectedly, then react quickly. You know, like make a plan. It's like it's those moments, because then you think, well, shit. If the midfield is as crap as they are and unable to create chances, when they do, then you would hope that the strikers are there to actually, you know, finish them. You know what I mean? Because otherwise, it's like, you know, both of them are. There's just like Olaf has said over and over again. There just doesn't seem any connection. That one player that's linking it. And I must say, when Partey started out today, I felt like he was that person. I felt like he was defensive. He intercepted. He picked up balls. He read a lot of like balls and intercepted them. And then he turned and went forward and he found a decent pass that was 20 or 30 yards ahead of him consistently. You know, and that's what we need. We just need somebody like that to seize the game. You know, and be a pivot.
But Ceballos, I thought, had a good second half.
But he was like, he played so deep. I felt like most of the time he was playing so deep. You know, that it was kind of ineffective. I felt like we took 40.
I've slagged Ceballos off because I think sometimes he was slowing the game down a little bit too much. He was slowing us down a bit, and he wasn't looking for the quick pass. But I thought he was a lot better today. I thought he was looking for the quick pass. The majority of them hit the target he was getting at. And he just seemed like he was sort of everywhere, really. And again, like I say, I couldn't turn around and say any one of our players had a particularly bad game today, apart from, I mean, you can label a bang-yang if you like, but at the end of the day, if you've got a number 9, the number 9's sole job is to get on the end of things and, you know, sit between the 2 posts and score goals. And that's it. And it's like watching the game before, Vardy literally didn't touch the ball all game, and then scores in the last 2 minutes and gets the winner.
Yeah.
But, I mean, you know, again, Aubameyang's not... He's not an old-fashioned, typical number 9 that we need when we're chucking crosses in. Do you know what I mean? I mean, Noel Quinn would have done a better job, even though Noel Quinn's probably in his mid-40s or early 50s by now. Do you know what I mean? That's it. I mean, we'd probably been better off with linking Gabriel up front, because at least he knows how to get his head on the ball. It's horses for courses. We just haven't not got... And that's the thing. Does Arteta have to adapt to the players we've got, or stick to his philosophy and get the 2, 3, 4 players that we need? And we need a big transfer window in January, boys, don't we?
I think we do, and he alluded to something like that, I think, a couple of days ago in an interview, that there was a possibility that something would happen. But okay, let's talking about number 9s, right? So by trying to get Aubameyang, you know, into the center, at first what that meant was dropping Lacazette. Now we found this kind of role for Lacazette, which I think Lacazette will really grow into. I thought this George Lampshire has just said, without Lacazette today, it would have been a game of tennis. He worked his bollocks off up there alone, battling against 3 centre halves, while our captain, hit his way through yet another game after his walk ride this week. Fine, let's not, dump on Aubameyang, but I thought that Lacazette had a great game. He's strung together a few creative passes that I thought were, you know, really promising. He did it in Europa and he did it today. He put Aubameyang through, I think, on one great ball today. But, you know, and he had it. He has that aggression. He has that disrupting. Like he's a busy guy. He can
hold on to the ball, Paul. That's the thing. Yeah, I mean,
have we discovered accidentally? By trying to solve another problem, have we maybe found at least a solution to have somebody like Lacazette in the midfield, because everyone slags the shit out of him because he's a very confidence player as a striker, and he's often not there, mainly because he's back fetching the ball, and then when the ball does get crossed in by Tierney or Bellerin, and you wanted Lacazette there, he wasn't there, or so has it helped?
By the way, Paul, towards the end of the game, he, as in Lacazette, was on the 18-yard box defending.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. So so he's running up front, but he puts in the effort.
But he's always put in that effort. I mean, listen, I've been slated for being a Lacazette kind of supporter, and that I kind of see the work that he does. I do understand the stuff that he doesn't do, that he's also been paid to, which is get goals. But I think that we might have stumbled upon something that will be useful for us, because I do think he's a good footballer. Like Gav says, he knows the ball doesn't bounce off him. He goes in hard. He seems to have a creative flair that maybe we hadn't seen before. An ability to put through passes and be that kind of pivot.
Well, this is the odd thing, Paul. Right? Is about 3 or 4 games ago, there was just me and Chris speaking after a game. I can't think what one it was, but I'm sure we lost or drew it. And we was talking about who's going to play this number 8, number 10 role until we actually buy somebody who specialises in that position. We was going through everything, and I said you might as well play Lacazette there, and we both laughed, and I'm laughing at the stupidity of my comment.
I think I was on that one, Gav.
Yeah, and Chris, and he's laughing at me, and we're all laughing about it. But the positions that he takes up is sort of pretty natural to him. He's not a natural number 9. He's not a natural born killer. He's not. He's not an Ian Wright. He's never going to be. But he has got something, and he does feel comfortable in that area of the pitch. And you saw it, I think it was towards the end of the second half. Towards the end of the first half. And he's literally almost come back as in line with the midfielders, because he was just trying to get a little bit of space and just trying to, create openings. And he's constantly moving. If you look at him, he's constantly moving and constantly trying to get a little bit of space, so that he can get the ball, so he can turn. He's comfortable running with the ball, and he's not got a bad pass on him either. So it's a short-term solution to how we want to play, and that's Arteta's conundrum at the moment. We have not got this hybrid 8 to 10 type player. Not that we needed it today. What we needed today was some 6'7" fella who could head the ball. Do you know what I mean? That's what we needed today. But that's where Arteta's going with it, and I kind of like that. I kind of like how it's all playing. But yeah, just didn't like today.
By the way, how hard is it to do a proper throw-in? Maybe I've forgotten since my playing days. How hard is it to do a throw-in and not get penalised for it?
That's becoming like a regular thing. Maybe it's like a betting thing. Maybe he puts £1,000 down at 1,000 to 1 that Bellerin will do another foul throw and pays for his forest, some rainforest.
Pays for the trees that way. Okay, that's clever.
Yeah, and I don't know that for a fact, but I'm standing by it. Listen, is there any reason to dissect this any longer? I feel like I don't know. No.
I think we've all vented enough, haven't we? It was just one of those. I mean, we all know what was happening. Merson told us what was happening yesterday, and as much as that Chelsea fan can annoy people, unfortunately, he was spot on. He called the game. I don't think he would have thought that we would have had that much possession, and Tottenham would have been that negative, which they were. And that can only really be a little compliment to us that we're doing the right thing. But we've got to eliminate the teams counter-attacking against us. I mean, if that was 0-0 or 1-0 at half time, we certainly would have had more opportunities and more clear-cut opportunities in the second half.
Gav, can I ask you a question? Do you think that staying like this or playing like this and the way that it's currently going, do you think that we're actually going to start climbing the table again? Because I've seen us play like this against Aston Villa, and I've seen us play against Leicester, and even there we have nothing to show for it. So I'm kind of concerned whether something will come of this over the rest of the season, or maybe I'm overreacting.
Well, I mean, yeah, no, you're not overreacting at all. It's, you know, we're not in a good position. We're not in a good state, and we need investment in players. We need better players in positions on the pitch. You know, we all know that, and that might take another couple of years to sort out. But I'm not unhappy with how we're playing the game, and I can see the process, and I can see what Arteta's trying to do.
I agree with that.
So, you know,
okay.
there's as disappointing it is to lose to them cunts, right? There's no point in getting all sack everybody, because
Oh,
you know,
yes.
like I say, unless somebody's got a couple of billion quid to buy out Kroenke, you know, we're just going to keep repeating this. You know, this is a you know, an investment in playing staff issue that we've had since we've left Highbury, and it's just slowly got a little bit worse every single year.
Neither of you are really concerned about being relegated, are you? Right, that's just a joke.
No. But I am concerned that we'll end up close to the bottom of the league, yes, but above the relegation zone.
And if we can win the Europa League, then we'll be a team who came 17th, but's in the Champions League. That'll be good, right? Or win the FA Cup, get into the Europa League again, get into or win both, and then we can choose. Maybe we just stay in the Europa League and not humiliate ourselves in the Champions League. Are you allowed to choose if you win the FA Cup and the Europa League, or do you automatically have to go to Champions League, Gav?
No.
If you win the FA Cup and the Europa League, do you have to go into the Champions League, or can you just stay in the Europa League?
I think by the fact the Champions Leagues are guaranteed of about 20-30 million quid a year.
Probably a good idea to do that.
I think our absentee owner would demand would take that, yes. And
Paul, I love your.
Although I tell you what Adidas would prefer. Adidas would prefer us to enter both competitions, right? And then that way we could have a home kit, an away kit, a third kit. We could have a special Europa League kit, and we could have a Champions League kit as well.
Oh my God, Kevin!
So we could have 5 kits there, and then what he could also do is have a home. Adidas could also do a home and away training kit and travelling kit. And coats,
European training kits
and jackets.
Yeah, well, exactly. And so, I mean, really, you know, if we were to be able to qualify for both, that gives Adidas the possibility of about 60 different shades of colours.
Would you think we'd play our youngsters in the Europa League, or we would still expect the same first team to play both competitions?
Probably the ladies' team. I think we'll play the ladies' team.
The ladies in the Europa.
The ladies would do well, actually.
Speaking of ladies and youngsters, Ireland coming up on Thursday. Would you just take youngsters?
Yeah.
Oh hell yes! Oh yes! And I'd take the whole of. I'd take Per Mertesacker and his whole squad and just go, bye, go play, have fun in Ireland.
And Pepe.
And Pepe, of course, as he works off his red card.
Yeah.
Paul, you're very optimistic about
it's away, isn't it?
Playing both. Sorry, Paul,
it's away.
Very optimistic about playing Champions League and Europa League, and I'm still going. OMG, we're still sitting 15th in the freaking league at the moment. On 13 points after 11 fucking games.
What kind of gooner are you if you're not talking about Champions League? You know, already. Well, you've just been beaten 2-0, by Spurs in the fucking derby. Come on. There's got to be a little sense of madness. But so the youngsters away against Dundalk. Maybe we can win this Europa League thing. I mean, Arteta.
Do you know what I would like? Right.
Yeah.
I think Arsenal should do like a ballot, and get 20 Arsenal supporters who all would test negative for COVID, and send them over to Ireland for a piss up for 3 days, right? And we could lose 20-0, right? But we could have a right good beer up, for 3 days in Ireland. It'd be a nice, good holiday. Do you know what I mean? Just like, do it, like, do a ballot for any Arsenal member.
Well, Arsblog is
between
there
the
already.
ages of 20 and 50. I'll be willing to. Huh?
He's there already. Arsblog is there already, so we could probably just. And I know he plays, so
yeah. But Andrew would get a red card after 5 minutes.
That's fine.
Yeah, no,
then he'd be banned for the next 3, which is he wasn't going to play the next 3 anyway. So
yeah, that's what they should do. Yeah, exactly. He's there already. We don't worry about them not already. They can just turn up and peer over the side and watch. Do you know what I mean? Just do a ballot. Take 20 Arsenal supporters over there. Let us sit in a pub for 2 or 3 days, and we'll play. We'll stand on a football pitch for 90 minutes, and then go back to the pub again. That's what the ideal scenario would be.
Or we could just let the youngsters have a game.
Yeah, youngsters and Pepe.
Youngsters and Pepe.
And Vivian Wiedemann.
Yeah, she's so good. She's so good.
She's prolific. Absolutely.
More fun watching them. Anyway, Gav, I see your kids have arrived. Folks, thank you so much for joining me and talking our way through this shit show. I'm sure this has got the most swearing, but we should probably beep it just for fun, Anyway, so Olaf, thanks.
Thanks for having me, and thanks for all the guys that have joined, George and all of them. Thank you.
Oh, Zade who left. Oh, thanks to all the guys who posted the comments. I'm sorry, we got most of them up. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you after Dundalk Thursday.
Cheers, see you on Twitter. Up the Arsenal.